quite a few are going off patent. There's a big change that's happening in the market over the next few years. Um, Want to understand your perspective, Melissa, on where this will impact, especially these specialty and rare disease medications.
Yeah. So this patent cliff is scary, especially sitting in a manufacturer's seat, right? Really, you're going into the abyss, the unknown, and I think that this will further. And the reason that I answered previously, such as I did relative to hybrids, and that really being the trend, this will just further their need for that. I think the days of internal hub models are probably well gone. Um, because reality is for new manufacturers at this point, with this patent cliff, with all that we've already talked about, you have to prove that you can be successful before you fully invest. That's just the reality of small startup. So you're not going to go gung ho all in day one. So you need that scalability and flexibility. And again, you're really just trying to prove, can you be successful? And especially with generics coming to market, right? The days of generics being dirt cheap, I'll say, for lack of a better word, are long gone as well. If you're in a competitive branded market, generics will indeed be cheaper than you. They probably won't be cheap by any normal definition. And they're not going to invest in the programs that you have. So you have to be very thoughtful around your competition in the marketplace. This patent cliff for manufacturers who are existing, the long-standing behemoths in the industry, you have to remain successful and you have to prove that you can remain successful. So to compete with lower cost products that don't have the investment in patient services, then you're going to have to better spend your dollars and you're going to have to shift your dollars over time and where they're being spent. Um, so yeah, it's scary.
Well, and then on top of that, there's a lot of different types of treatments that are coming to market. So now you have, and we have to consider this with patient support, is the biologics are getting, they're progressing. Cell and gene therapies are becoming even more commonplace. So they're really all emerging as groundbreaking advancements. I mean, this is all obviously offering great hope for previously untreated conditions for so many patients, which is wonderful. But we need to make sure that these therapies are providing the specialized care and that a patient deserves. They need to be utilizing robust data integration. The partners and the type of work that the partners doing are way more complex now than they've ever been. And we really need to make sure we're making personalized patient engagement the cornerstone for patient support. And it's integrated data systems that these types of patient support organizations, whether it's a hybrid model or whatnot, they really need to ensure they're providing precise support. They need to put a lot of effort into, how do they enroll patients? How do they provide long-term support to patients? Um, what are the types of hub models that make sense for each of these types of pharmaceutical organizations? And I know, working and talking with many of them that, again, they're all across the board. They're doing hybrid, they're doing insourced here and there, they're doing outsourced here and there. So it's really interesting what's going on with these new types of treatments and how they're being supported. Melissa, anything else to add to cell and gene
Yeah,
therapy?
I think this just adds to the scariness of our future, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Uh, cell and gene are areas that, to your point, are absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see the benefit they provide to patients. But it adds another layer of complexity to an already uncertain market. I think if you're a manufacturer going into cell and gene, there's another layer of services you have to consider relative to your patient services or hub models that haven't been in need in the past. And that's really talking about diagnostics, genetic testing. We know as we know as a society that genetic testing isn't where we want it to be, isn't where we're capable of being. And there's a lot of reasons I won't go into, and maybe what my personal opinions on why that is. But absolutely, this needs to be genetic testing, diagnostics. Are going to be a critical part of hub services going forward, not only in helping to bring those to patients, as an option, but also how do you integrate that visibility and that knowledge into your market and into your data at the end of the day? Because that's going to be a critical factor for that patient experience.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And I think, we keep kind of hammering this in it because it's such a critical aspect, but it's like what are the trends going on? And again, we've really talked a lot about this hybrid model. I would say of the clients we work with, a lot of times we do get asked, what kind of trends are you seeing with this? Are you seeing more companies starting to go in-source or more starting to go outsource? Um, and I even get their opinion a lot, and it's really interesting. I'd say 50% think that it's going more in-sourced and 50% think it's going more outsourced. So this is an anti-trend that's going on. So it's really not one is necessarily overpowering the other. It's really that the trend is towards these hybrid models. Um, and we're seeing it ourselves that the companies that have historically done in-source types of work are now bringing on certain types of solution providers. There's ways to bring expertise into the mix when you do that, that you bring innovation, you bring change, all of that positive stuff. So as we delve into the realm of these hybrid models, it's clear that we're seeing this significant diversification and change. And as we've mentioned, hybrid models do offer this strategic blend of in-source and outsource component. So this allows us to be adaptable, really, to the changing environments that we've been talking about. As an example, as we talked about the LOE, loss of exclusivity that these companies are facing, it's really meaning that they have to, in some cases, scale this patient support down, unfortunately. And then you have these highly specialized treatments, the cell and gene therapies, biologics, what have you, they maybe have maybe err towards having a little more insourced in terms of their support, but they're also utilizing services from an external standpoint that really helps them gain the expertise that they need. The beauty of these hybrid models is the flexibility. We've talked about that. And they enable a selective focus on expertise that really aligns with the patient, the business, and those regulatory needs as well. So by really embracing these models, companies can leverage the strengths of both the in-source and the outsource. They can ensure the agility and ensure the flexibility that a lot of our, I know our partners are looking for.